I'm going to blow your mind here, okay? I know this is going to be really nuts for you to hear. Jason Statham isn't just a working man. I know, right?
That's for slapping your wife.
Who are you? What are you?
You have to give him credit. Jason Statham is one of the very few people left in Hollywood who you know precisely what you're getting if he's involved in a film. Like, you're not going to hear about a Jason Statham film and go, oh yeah, I bet it's an intimate period drama. No! It's going to be the same thing every single time. He just keeps playing the same role until it's drilled into our head, like the variety of objects he uses to butcher people with in this film. You know, it's not enough, though. I gotta say, this is one of my major complaints. It's a working man. He's a construction worker. Like, I know it would have been cheesy and silly for them to have the finale on his construction site or something, or he uses a bunch of construction-related stuff to kill people, but they just instead chose to forget that he was even working as a construction worker 20 minutes into the film. Never went back to it. A Working Man is about Jason Statham, a soldier with a past, but he's just a construction worker now, but he still has skills, but he doesn't want to use them until literally any reason to use them arrives, yeah. His boss's daughter gets kidnapped, his boss asks if he can save her, and Jason Statham, instead of doing that, goes to HR and tells them no. He goes off and gets involved with the Russian mob and just keeps working his way up the levels, uncaring about the fact that he's got a daughter who they could easily go after because it's been in a very publicized court case with her over custody. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he just, I don't get it. I feel like one of these days we're going to get a slightly more realistic action movie where the lead wears a mask so that they don't know who's coming after them, so that they can protect their loved ones because they have loved ones. So yeah, he accidentally, while trying to find this girl, pisses off the Russian mafia. And yet they are the ones who ended up taking her, so that was the right thing to do. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but the point is that he accidentally pisses them off, goes, no, I don't want any trouble, I don't want any of this, to go higher. And then he keeps bringing it higher, and also the next Russian mafia guy he meets after pissing them off, he gives a driver's license photo of him so that they can identify him all the easier and go after his innocent 6-year-old daughter. I mean, it's just... it's so unserious, because it's got the kind of, he's a dad, and therefore he has to go after this girl who's been taken because that guy's a dad and she's a daughter, and he's a dad so he knows what it's like to have a daughter. And that's the plot. That's all of his motivation. People keep asking him, why are you trying to save her? And he's like, I told her I got her back. And it's just... and that's fine, but also it's straddling the line between so bad, like it's funny, because like the criminals do say things, like the big Russian mafia leading guy criminals do say things like, I'm big potatoes. And one of them is like, oh, look at your hands. You're not a cop, you're just a working man. That's an actual line in the film. Like, I do like Jason Statham. He doesn't seem to age, you gotta give him that, and he still can go in a fight scene. The fight scenes are perfectly acceptable, but they've never, in any of his films that I can really think back on, tried to level up the fight scene, because he is capable, he's a capable guy. They've never tried to level them up, like John Wick did for Keanu. Like, really go next level, make those fight scenes, like, so mesmerizing. The fight scenes are just wash, rinse, repeat from all of his previous movies in this, and that's annoying. And I do feel like you could trade out everything that happened here for about 10 of his other movies, title and all. And it just wouldn't make any difference. You wouldn't notice that anything's up. Because it really, the fact that it is called A Working Man could not be less relevant after the opening, 15 minutes. I'm not saying that this was atrocious, I'm just saying it was too silly and convoluted to get away with this, and also they spend the entire second act on, setting up fake drug deals and stuff, and then him just pouring the drugs immediately out to show that he's, the ultimate moral compass good guy, which he is in every film. I just feel at this point like Jason Statham is basically a porn star. He has a different job and a different situation, and yet everything else that he does is exactly the same every time. So it's upsetting, and I'm giving The Mechanic, or nobody? No, he wasn't in that one. Wrath of Man, Hummingbird, Parker, Safe, Killer Elite, The Mechanic. It's probably one of those. 2.5 stars. Racist film bros, you can't tell me with a straight face that Snow White is the worst film you've ever seen. And this is, Jason Statham does it again. You can't be saying that with a straight face. I got pretty much exactly the same amount out of these two films. Like, just saying, man. I don't think Snow White was great, but this was also not great.